iPhone 13. Turns out it happened. I was wrong. Want tech news in a way that doesn't suck? Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to be part of the Toilet Squad, because we know you're on the toilet. We all know. Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Front Page Tech, FPT, Fapata, the show that gives you all of this tech news from one geek. That is me to another, that is you. Happy Saturday. Before we jump into the show today, just a little bit of a fun fact. In a lot of people's videos and in comment sections, I see a lot of people having problems with the fact that AirPods Max are called AirPods because they're over-ear headphones and not pods. To those people, why? Why are you confused? Here, let me break this down for you. When it comes to Apple, pod doesn't mean small. When they use the word pod, it means music. iPod, EarPod, HomePod, you get it. And when the word air comes first in a name, it means wireless. AirPlay, AirDrop, airport. And that, my friends, is how you end up with AirPods. Hooray! All right, hope you learned something today. Now let's do tech news. So first up for the day, before we jump into the Apple story numero uno is about Samsung. Good old Sammy. Early last month, I tweeted this, and if you've been watching the show, then you've also heard it here. I leaked the announcement and launch dates for the Samsung Galaxy S21, S21 Plus, and S21 Ultra, with announcement of those devices happening on January 14th, 2021, and pre-order happening on that same day, and then finally launching globally January 29th. Now, naturally, a few people thought I was crazy about this for a couple reasons. Number one, because I was announcing and leaking these dates 3 months early, and two, they've never launched a Galaxy device in January before. Well, would you look at that? A Samsung store in India, which by the way is one of their largest retailers, has confirmed those dates, saying that the Galaxy S21 devices would be announced on January 14th and then launch on the 29th. So there you go. I mean, it wasn't from Samsung directly, but Samsung's largest retailer is like the next best thing to it being absolutely confirmed. Which, you know what that means, right? You know what this means. I have ascended!
I no longer am here to tell you about the news of today, but instead, the news of tomorrow.
It's cold up there. All right, next up, speaking of leaks, let's talk about this Google Pixel 5 Pro leak. Seems like we're randomly just starting to get Pixel leaks again, somehow. Except the last time this happened, it was not real at all. Just some kid in Photoshop trolling the internet, and it worked. Good job, everybody. And now, we got a brand new leak that was posted to Slash Leaks of what is apparently a Google Pixel 5 Pro with an under-display camera. Oh my god, has it finally happened? Is this it? Is this the Pixel Ultra? You remember that from back in the day, right? I mean, I was that guy. I was the Pixel Ultra guy. Remember that whole conspiracy theory? It's been a couple years, but is this it? Do we finally have our Google Pixel Ultra? No. Nope. Nope. This is not real, people, okay? Just want to be completely clear. This is not real. And you know what? I'm assuming that this happened because that last leak from last week or whatever did fool people and websites wrote about it because everyone's a bunch of idiots. And so why not fake it again and be in the news again? You news websites are not helping the fake leak problem. I mean, I didn't have to. This is clearly fake, but just to be safe, I did reach out to my source and they said, no, this is not a thing. This Pixel 5 Pro thing, not a thing. And that source is very, very good. Same person that got all the Pixel 4a stuff right and the Pixel 5 stuff right. I'm very, very sorry, guys. I know that you probably wanted it to be real, but it is not that. It is not real. Okay, last up, before we jump into the Apple story for the day, I gotta pay some bills. I know. You know I gotta do it. You know I gotta do it. You know what's really cool about deals? You get money off. But what's better than getting money off? How about getting money off from the money off? As you know, our sponsor WeVPN is running a Christmas deal that gets you 58% off with 1 month free. That breaks down to just $3 a month. And here is where you get the money off from the money off. If you check out using the promo code FPT, you'll save an extra 10%. Protect yourself online, keep yourself completely secure across all of your devices, stream and access media from anywhere in the world. Also, it's the fastest VPN I have ever used. So even if you already are using a VPN, it's time to make the switch. Click the link down in the description below to get WeVPN with the Christmas deal with an extra 10% off. All right, last up, let's talk about the iPhone 13. I gotta come clean. I was wrong. I was actually wrong about something. Let me explain real quick. So we actually heard early rumors a while ago from Ming-Chi Kuo, who's one of the leakers that I respect the most, stating that Touch ID would be making a return to iPhone in the form of under-display Touch ID. Oh, yeah, the thumbnail. If you're upset about the thumbnail, I'm actually showing you the bottom of the phone. You know, where Touch ID would be, where your thumb would go on the display, not the top of the phone. So before you all are yelling clickbait in the comments because I showed you the top of the phone and was trying to make you think there was no notch, you just got outsmarted. That's it. It is very clever, I know. Listen, you can't even be mad. It is so clever that you can't even be mad at it. I mean, is it clickbait? A little bit. Is it clever clickbait? A lot of it. So last year, when rumors first came out from Ming-Chi Kuo stating that under-display Touch ID would be coming to iPhone, I was like, that's not gonna happen. I mean, at the time, I said they wouldn't do it. I said they wouldn't use Face ID and Touch ID at the same time in the same device because it sort of backtracks on their marketing. I do completely 100% believe that they wanted to have Face ID and Touch ID in iPhone 10 when Face ID debuted, but they couldn't do it in the same year. They couldn't do under-display Touch ID in the same year, so they committed to that marketing on stage, saying that Face ID is the future. And once they do that, once they go up on stage and commit to something like that and be like, we believe in Face ID so much that there is no Touch ID. That's how good Face ID is. I just couldn't see them backtracking on that marketing. Going back up on stage and be like, well, actually, we do like Touch ID. But now I can confidently say that I was wrong about that. I can say that for two different reasons. One, there are prototypes with Touch ID in them. So as a bit of an exclusive here, according to my sources, there are currently 2 working prototypes with Touch ID under the display panel. Now, this doesn't guarantee that the final product will have under-display Touch ID, but it does tell me that I was wrong. But other than that, other than there's physical prototypes saying that I'm wrong, there's also another reason why this would work. Listen, I don't know if you noticed, but we're kind of in the middle of a pandemic right now. And Face ID doesn't work that well when you're wearing a mask. And that, my friends, is how they're going to backtrack on marketing. Remember how I said it wouldn't make sense for them to go back on stage and admit that they were sort of wrong and that Touch ID and Face ID are actually great together, especially after they completely committed to Face ID on stage the way they did. This gives them a reason to bring it back, not because Apple was wrong and we couldn't put Touch ID under the display at that time. No. This is because it makes sense now to bring it back in case you're wearing a mask. And I mean, I've seen a lot of articles and videos talking about how Face ID is broken, like there's a problem with Face ID. Like, this is a pretty good video here from Painfully Honest Tech talking about how Face ID is broken because it doesn't work with your mask. But actually, no. Face ID is not broken. Face ID works. Face is broken. Face ID works the way it's supposed to, right? It's supposed to see your face and your complete face and unlock your phone. It is our faces that are covered. The Face ID is literally supposed to not work when you're wearing a mask. It's our faces wearing masks that are the problem. And yeah, I know there are like technically some workarounds that you can find online to try to get Face ID to work better while you're wearing a mask, but this totally just negates all of that. It has Face ID, boom, unlocks your phone. It also has Touch ID, boom, it also unlocks your phone. This is what we need. This is exactly what we need right now. Like I said, there are 2 working prototypes with this technology in it. And also now Apple doesn't have to go on stage and admit that they were wrong about removing Touch ID in the first place. Now they have an excuse, a reason to bring it back. Listen, I'm not gonna complain, right? I will be happy with an iPhone that has both Face ID and Touch ID. I'm not happy about being wrong, though. That's a bummer. That's a real bummer. And that's the show. Hopefully you liked it. You learned something. A bit of a special Saturday episode for you. If you hate my face, the dislike button, that works too. If you're new here, subscribe. And I'll see you guys on Monday, Tuesday. One of those days. We'll find out.